I know I'm giving everybody the real background tea.
Yes, that's what we're here for, baby.
You want to know
Spill the tea.
Everything. Let me tell you everything. You're here for a month. What you do in that month is rehearsals. You're meeting with vocal coaches that are going to be on staff. There's so many meetings about legal things, contracts that you're going to sign, how the show's going to work, what you can and can't do in terms of own personal music release. There's a lot of things that you kind of have to learn. Okay, you're going to be put inside of the NBC The Voice bubble. Mm-hmm. And during that time, we are going to have you be one of our artists.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. Coming to you today from LA, Los Angeles, the land of dreams, La La Land. What other names are there for Los Angeles? Many.
Place of traffic.
Yes. It literally took me 2 hours to get here today. And I was like, excuse me, what? But I have a very special guest with me here today. The beautiful, wonderful, insane singer, Jackie Foster. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. My day is already great because I get to sit down with you.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that you were able to make the time to come here.
Oh yeah.
Chat with me. We are kind of like ships in the night. Is that the saying?
Yeah, that's the proper saying.
Yeah.
2 ships passing in the night.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, no. I just told you this story, but in case you don't know, Jackie Foster was on The Voice.
Yes.
And my father-in-law saw you on The Voice. He's a big The Voice fan. And every season, he's like, do you know this person? Have you heard them? And what do you think about them? And I'm like, I am so not in the loop. Oh my God.
I know. There's so many seasons.
Yes, I know. There's just, and so many different kinds of shows too. It's like, oh my goodness, there's a lot. And we both went to Berklee.
Yes, we did.
We never actually met at Berklee. No. Again, ships in the night, passing each other.
Yeah.
But we both went to Berklee, and he picked up on that. And he was like, do you know this Jackie Foster? She is amazing. And I'm like, I know of her. Yeah, but I've never actually met her.
And now we're changing that. We are changing it. I love it. No, it's so true. There's and also on the show, they I was always the Boston rocker, right? Like Jackie, the Boston rocker. So that's probably also why your father-in-law picked up on that, because they were really taking that part home.
That is so funny that you were the Boston rocker, because you're from San Diego.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So we talked about this with the producers, because I was like, why don't I just say I'm from San Diego? And they're like, well, San Diego's great and it's a great destination place, which is funny because, again, that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
But Boston has this energy and this it factor, and the people behind Boston really rally behind your people, and Boston rocker sounds good. So we're just going to go with it. And I said, okay. So that's what we went with.
Well, there you go. So let's dig into your experience and your journey on The Voice, and because your experience with them is a little bit different than what the average person would go through.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I also auditioned for The Voice.
Yeah.
You didn't audition. We'll get into that in just a minute. But I was in high school, and Switzerland, I'm from Switzerland originally.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Switzerland was like, let's have our own The Voice. So, there's The Voice of Switzerland, The Voice of the Netherlands, and The Voice of wherever. So I auditioned for The Voice of Switzerland when I was in high school, and I made it through all the rounds up until the blind auditions. I already signed the contracts and everything, but then they asked me to sing Don't Stop Believin', and they made me the musical theater girl. And I had to sing it in the Glee version.
No.
And the producers didn't tell me that. They were just just sing Don't Stop Believing by Journey. And I was like, why? But okay. And then I went in the room and they were like, yeah, you're going to do this Glee thing. And I'm like, what's Glee? Yeah, so I prepared the actual Don't Stop Believing
Because
version.
why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And they wanted something completely different from me, and they were like, yeah, okay, no. So I didn't actually make it to the blind auditions. I made it through all the rounds before then.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. It literally doesn't matter. I probably wouldn't have ended up here had
That's very
that
true.
worked out. So
Look at the trajectory of your career and where it's gotten you.
Everything happens for a reason, you know?
I agree with that very much
So you didn't audition
No,
for
I
The
didn't.
Voice. So how does one end up on The Voice without auditioning for The Voice?
You know, that's a great question. It was one of those situations where at Berklee at that time, I was doing a lot of performances like at the BPC.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one thing that's fantastic about Berklee is they have so many showcases. And so I was doing showcases here and there. And I don't even think, I'm trying to remember, I might have like posted a few performances on YouTube or whatever because I had a YouTube channel and I was doing like little covers. I mind you, like maybe 1,000 views. So like nothing special going on.
Yeah.
But one thing about Berklee and what I really tried to do while there is I really tried to make myself something different. So a lot of vocalists were doing pop and R&B because Berklee has some of the most exceptional, R&B soulful singers. And I can do that, but that's not my strength. My strength is really like big powerhouse belting. Like give me a big solid note and I'll stay up there. So I think that started to kind of set me apart. And so when things would get uploaded, people noticed that. Then it was moving day in Boston, and side tangent, if you ever have been in Boston or went around there, it's the same moving day for the entire city. Do you remember this?
Yes, because it's a college town.
Why would they pick one day for everyone to move? It's insanity.
Yeah.
It's literally the same day of the same month. It's like the first. Anyway, it was moving day and my phone rings and I see a Los Angeles phone number. And I was like, I'm like holding a couch. Why is somebody calling me from Los Angeles?
Yeah.
And I'm also not one to pick up the phone literally ever. But my husband was like, can you please answer that? So not my husband at the time, but boyfriend at the time. So I answer it and they immediately was, hi, is this Jackie Foster? I said, yes. And they said, we're producers from The Voice and we saw some videos of you online and we would love to have you audition. Side note, fun fact at the time, a week before that, Brandon got a call from American Idol and got asked to audition for American Idol. And this was literally a week before. And they knew about me. He said, I have a girlfriend that also sings. And so we were in talks with American Idol to have the two of us go on the show for the first season back.
As a duet?
Not as a duo, but as like boyfriend and girlfriend to each go in and support each other and like each audition individually. So this happens a week beforehand. Now I'm getting the call for The Voice and I sat down, they talked me through what they wanted and they said, we are pretty much already done with all the executive rounds. We don't need you to do any of those, which to me was shocking.
Yeah.
They said, we already have enough proof of what you can do. We just need you to submit a video of like a 2-minute elevator pitch about you. And that was it. Here's the email to send it to. Get us to it. Give this within the day. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
So I submit this video, get a call back. And I think it was like 3 days later. And they said, we're going to cast you for this season. We're flying you out to LA in 2 weeks. Laura, I had 2 weeks notice before any of this. And it was like, we're flying out to the blind auditions. I didn't do a single executive round. All the rounds that you did not do. I don't know how this happened. And it was also a big decision for me because I really value education. I love being in school. And this was right at the start of my senior year of Berklee. And I'm thinking, I'm so close to graduating. Like, I also had a scholarship to Berklee, so I didn't want to potentially jeopardize my relationship with Berklee either. there was a lot in my mind, but Brandon kind of said to me, he's like, what are you doing? This is like what you do this stuff for. This is your life. Go do it. Yeah. So we both had agreed at that time that we would do separate. I'll do The Voice and he'll do American Idol. Mm-hmm. And if you know Brandon, that's Brandon Diaz. He got top 24 on American Idol. And then I wound up going all the way to the semifinals of the show. But yeah. I literally walked into the first day in LA and everyone kind of, because they all had started to notice each other because there were like different rounds and you all are sitting in a big room. So you're kind of starting to meet each other. And I walk in, they're like, who is she? Where does she come from? Yeah. So it was one of those situations where I had to adapt very quickly.
Yeah. Did you pick the song that you got to sing at the blind auditions or did they pick for you?
No. Fun fact about The Voice, they pick every song you sing on that show. And honestly, I'm okay with it because I think that that's one thing that's great about the show. If you get great songs, or how I like to look at it, if you make the most of what you're given. So I am a person that I've listened to all different styles of music and sang all different styles of music, that if the power had been put in my hands to pick songs, I don't know if I would have picked one, as good of songs as they gave me, or two, I think I would have doubted my choices and gone the safe route versus being given songs I had never even heard of before and trying to make the most with what I was given. So I didn't pick my song, which was What About Us by Pink.
Yeah, love
that was my audition song. I didn't pick it. They gave it to me. And that song was also really popular right at that time. So I was super happy with it. And it was a pretty recognizable song. And I just tried to make my own out of it.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. So pre this phone call, did you ever think about going on a singing show like that?
Yes. I mean, growing up, we're like a kid in the United States. We all watched American Idol growing up. We all watched The Voice, specifically American Idol, seeing like, Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood. I mean, even people that didn't win, like Catherine McPhee. Like, it was just so exciting to watch singing shows. And as a young singer, just wanting to say, oh, I want a stage like that one day. Like, I want to be in front of these big lights and I also would go to the American Idol tours. They used to have tours after the show. So I very much wanted to do this, but I felt like I had auditioned. I think I auditioned not for The Voice. Whoa, brain blast. I did actually audition for The Voice at an open call, I think. And I didn't make it. Like, it was just, you just sing your song and next, and just, they don't even think about you.
Isn't that so funny? Mm-hmm. You auditioned before.
Yeah.
And then
I was young too when I auditioned.
Yeah. And then years later, it was just not the right time, not the right person who heard you. There's so many factors that go into it. So just because you're getting a no once doesn't mean it's a no forever.
And that's what people have to remind themselves is like this. Everything on these shows, while genuine in your feelings and what you're going through, is so calculated to the point of they are really sometimes looking for a specific something. And if the right person's not in front of you, you're not going to get this grand opportunity that someone next to you might get.
Yeah.
So it's really one of those situations of right time, right place.
Yeah.
And for me, moving a couch in Boston in the middle of, 2017 was my time.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you and Brandon were on two different shows at the same time?
At the same time. So
how funny is that? And now you're married.
And now we're married. I know, the singing couple. No, yeah. So his show was airing on Sunday and Monday nights, and mine was airing Monday and Tuesday nights.
Wow.
Which is like really crazy. So that was super fun. But a little fun fact.
So they flew you into LA. Mm-hmm. You did your blind auditions there. How was that experience?
People don't realize that the blind audition actually takes a month. So you're here in Los Angeles. I know I'm giving everybody the real background tea.
Yes, that's what we're here for, baby.
You want to know
spill the tea.
Everything. Let me tell you everything. You're here for a month. What you do in that month is rehearsals. You're meeting with vocal coaches that are going to be on staff. There's so many meetings about legal things, contracts that you're going to sign, how the show's going to work, what you can and can't do in terms of own personal music release. there's a lot of things that you kind of have to learn. Okay, you're going to be put inside of the NBC The Voice bubble. Mm-hmm. And during that time, we are going to have you be one of our artists, essentially, is kind of how it works. So you're here for a month, and sometimes it's a lot of downtime, and other times, I mean, you're just like meeting here, meeting there. Okay, then we have a rehearsal, then we have this, and then you meet. My favorite part is wardrobe and makeup, and then you start to meet with the wardrobe team, and you submit what's your look, what do you want us to look for you if you make it through the season, like how do you want your image and your brand to be represented on our show. So there was just like so many amazing cool things that we got to do within that 1 month, that it was jam-packed. And then finally at the end you go through the blind audition days, and I cannot remember, but I think it's around 46 people make it to the actual blind audition. So while it starts out and it's a month long, people get cut during that time.
Whoa.
Yeah, before you even make it to the actual audition.
So it has nothing to do with your singing.
Yeah, for all different circumstances. Sometimes people have a contract and they're already pre-managed, and they don't like the contract that they're about to sign, so they walk. Or sometimes, and I genuinely mean this, sometimes people have an attitude, and that doesn't fly with certain producers. And if you're not going to act right, then you're not meant to be for this show.
You're out,
so there's really like a lot of things that can happen. And for me, you know, I'm just one of those people that I'll put my head down. I'll make my presence known, but I'm never going to start anything. I'm never going to be like, you know, in your face about anything. So I really took that time to get to know my fellow contestants, to get to know people that I really knew I would vibe with and build a great connection and a great friendship with, and then just kind of stick in that core group. And also I had nothing to lose. Like, I didn't really have much music out anyway at that point. I had my band Self Portraits. That was like our rock band back at college, but like I didn't have anything to lose. So I said, yeah, of course I'm going to sign these contracts. So
okay.
Yeah.
So that was a month-long thing.
Yep.
Then you finally you get to sing.
Yes. And I had my mom, my dad, and my brother and my sister and aunt and uncle. I had a large entourage that day.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I auditioned on day 3 out of 4. So there's different days because there's so many contestants that they're not going to do them all in one day.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're watching as like spots are getting taken, because you in the back of your mind know there's only a certain amount of spots per team. And my season was Blake Shelton, Adam Levine, Alicia Keys, and Kelly Clarkson's first season as a judge, which I kid you not, I feel so lucky to have been a part of that season, because Kelly Clarkson brought a brand new, totally like renewed energy to the show that I think the producers needed and wanted. Just like new enthusiasm to the coaching style.
Yeah.
So I get up there, and it's funny, I didn't feel nervous, but you know, you have this big studio and in your mind it's huge, and then you get in the room and it's actually not that large as it looks like on TV.
Okay.
So you get up there and the lights are on you, and all of a sudden there's the countdown and your song's starting, and you're like, please don't forget the lyrics. And I don't, but that's like obviously the first thought in your mind.
Yeah.
Is just don't mess up the lyrics. And then I just kind of sang, and I think I was defeated at a certain point in my song because no one had turned around. And I remember, I mean, Brandon's like one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he also has a fantastic musical ear because he himself is a singer. And there was a certain note where it went like, what about us? And yeah. Whatever I did up there near the end of the song, and that's finally when Kelly Clarkson turned around, was like at the end of my song, which made me so nervous.
Yes, of course.
So she turns around, and then in the last second, Alicia Keys turns around. And so it was one of those situations where thankfully, I think had the judges turned around sooner for me, my nerves would have kicked in more and I would have gotten more shaky. But because I couldn't even see them, it almost felt like I was performing to a normal audience, which I was used to. That didn't scare me. It was the moment I saw their faces where my anxieties and my nervousness kicked in.
They're actually here.
They're actually there in the room. So it was one of those situations where Of course, I'm hoping and wishing that they're going to turn around sooner.
Yeah.
But the timing in which they turned around, I think, worked in my benefit because it's one of the most nerve-wracking things to be singing in front of 4 iconic vocalists and singers. So to have the ease of almost not looking at them and then them, obviously you want them to turn around for you. It worked in my favor.
Yeah. Oh, but it's so nerve-wracking when you're like, they're not turning around. They're not turning around. They're not turning around. Like,
I know.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yes.
Yeah. There were so many things in my mind, but I think that that's one of the things that's so important when you do a show like this is you can't be in your mind. You cannot be in your head. Mm-hmm. You have to just get up there and do what you know you're good at because that's going to speak louder than anything else. Like if the moment you're in your head, the moment you're thinking about something, okay, now I'm thinking about how I'm performing. So like my brain is immediately taken away from what I'm doing, and you don't want your brain to split during a moment like that. Like you want to be as present as possible and just like trust your instincts and trust your vocal cords. And that's all you can do, like hands off from there.
Yeah. So. But you had a lot of preparation going into that, like vocal cords wise.
Yeah,
it was not the first time you were performing in front of an audience. You said like, I'm used to that. That's fine. It's not the first time you sang, right?
No.
So it's like,
yeah.
There's a lot of preparation that beforehand, for years and years and years beforehand, that made you ready for that moment.
Yeah, you just got to trust your gut.
Yes. So you got on Team Kelly.
I did.
How iconic. I saw her exactly a year ago in Vegas. Because she put on a show for the Super Bowl. Like, not for the Super Bowl, but, the Super Bowl was in Vegas, so they had a lot of people come and put on shows to entertain all these people that were going to Vegas anyway. So I was there at the same time because I got tickets for Adele on the Super Bowl weekend. So I went to go see
so jealous.
Adele and Kelly Clarkson one night, like night after night. It was so cool. And Kelly Clarkson is just such a fantastic singer. Like
her vocal technique. Are you watching her, like, her daily karaoke's?
It's just, it's unfair.
It makes me want to be like, okay, 666, so I have to relearn how to sing. It gives you insane. She is so, and that's why she was the only coach I wanted to be, like, that was the team I wanted to be on. I wanted to be on Kelly Clarkson's team. So the fact that she was the one that turned around for me, of course, Alicia turned around within the last second of the song, but like the moment Kelly turned around, that's all I was shooting for. Like I didn't want anybody else. I just wanted Kelly Clarkson. So to have that moment and be chosen by her was really special for me. And of course, while my experience with her was short-lived, it was very impactful, and I just adored every moment of it with her.
So how much did you actually get to interact with her? Because, when we see the little behind the scenes moment on TV, it's like, the celebrity coach is coaching you through your thing, but you're probably doing the majority of the work with other people behind the scenes, not necessarily with the stars, because they're busy. They got other stuff going on too. So how much do you actually get to interact with these celebrities?
It's not as much as TV portrays it to be. I will say, though, again, this is why I feel so lucky to have been a part of Kelly's first season. And I feel like any other contestants who have been on this show, when they're a part of someone's first season, like Ariana Grande's first season, there is an energy that these coaches want to give their all to their contestants. So with Kelly, I got so much time. I got, it's something I hold very sacred, but she gave each of the people on her team not only the jerseys that we have, which I still have at my house, but we all got a notebook, and I have a personal message in my notebook that talks about, like, trust your gut, trust your instincts, like, follow your voice, log every bit of this memory, because you never know how long it's going to last. You don't know if you're going to make it all the way to the end or if your time's going to be up next week. Like, just live in the moment. So she was very caring about her contestants, and I loved that. So for someone who's walking into something that there was almost like an imposter syndrome, I guess, because I didn't go through all the different rounds of auditions, that I'm like, do I belong here? I don't know. But then
Yeah.
at the back of my mind, I'm like, they sought me out to bring me here. So I obviously belong, but there was that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So my time with Kelly was fantastic. And then my time with Adam Levine was great because he was my next coach. You know, it's definitely TV. So the time that you see as the show is airing of your running your songs with your coach and them giving you their feedback, and show day is about all you have with them. And that's truth. And it's not like I needed more, but that is very much like it's those moments, and the rest is on you to hunker down, get your song memorized, practice it, figure out your choreography and everything that you're going to do. A lot of them will give notes and listen to what you're singing. Like that was one thing about Alicia that I really enjoyed, is she would listen to my rehearsal tapes and give me feedback via voice memo and just be like, here's what I'm thinking for this, here's what I'm thinking for this.
Really?
Yeah. Which you don't see that air.
Even if you're not on her team.
Well, I was on her team at the very end, so yeah. Okay, yeah. We got tossed around, Laura. You want to know where I went? Where do I start? Blind audition, I picked Kelly Clarkson.
Yes.
Then it goes to the knockouts, where I sang Bring Me to Life. I lost the knockouts.
Okay. And then you got stolen.
And then I got stolen. The steal, yeah. Then I got stolen by Adam Levine.
Yeah.
But
I remember that part.
Yes. Then I did. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. No, that wasn't Bring Me to Life. The Adam Levine one was then the one I sang Bring Me to Life. And then I lost that round too. And then I got stolen again, but I got to choose. Just like when I lost on Kelly's team, Blake, Adam, and Alicia all wanted me, and I chose Adam Levine. Then when I was on Adam's team and I lost that round again, of course I'm sitting here like, do they like me?
Yes. Like
I don't understand what's happening. So then I lost again, and then Kelly wanted me back. Alicia Keys wanted me back, or wanted me, and then Blake Shelton wanted me. So again, I got to pick.
Yeah.
And then I don't think that was the time where Adam was allowed to try to steal me. Yeah, no. So he was out of the running, right? Because I lost it. So I picked Alicia Keys because I thought to myself, well, I wanted Kelly because I felt like I would really vibe with her. Alicia has been gunning for me since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
She turned around for my blind audition. She turned around, then she wanted me the next time, and now this is the third time. If I deny Alicia Keys after wanting me 3 times, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so then I picked Alicia Keys, and I was with Alicia Keys all the way to the semifinals.
Well, there you go. Okay, in my brain, you got stolen once, not twice, but that's amazing.
I'm the only contestant that's ever happened to, by the way, in the show's history.
Crazy.
That has never happened.
So my question for you was going to be like, is stuff like this planned?
I think. How much do you really want to know?
I want to know it all, baby. Give it to me.
So I can only speculate.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the truth behind it, but there was something that had happened the week that I sang Bring Me to Life, and I was on Adam's team. And when I want to remember correctly. Okay, I'm pretty sure when I lost and Adam picked Mia to move forward, I think he tried, there was like a new thing that was introduced where you could try to get them back, but the contestant chooses. So I'm pretty sure he put his name in the running again to get me back and be like, but I still want you if you want me. I didn't pick him. That's when I picked Alicia because I had felt like she had turned around every single time for me. When I didn't pick Adam, we went to commercial break, or not commercial break, but like this wasn't live yet. So we finished filming. I picked her, and I heard, only because I had friends that were in the audience, that Adam got so upset after that.
Oh, really?
And that he was complaining to the producers. I mean, vocally, loud, because the whole studio audience heard this. In fact, someone even pulled me aside afterwards and told me this, that he got so upset because he was saying this wasn't a part of our deal. She was supposed to come back to my team. I didn't know this. Nobody told me this.
Oh.
So I think there is a bit of pre-planned things that they kind of want to have happen, or at least the coaches, because he was basically saying, I thought you guys said she would come back on my team. Had I known this, I would have had her win. But that, of course, would never be aired.
Yeah.
So I think this is TT, guys.
Yes.
So, woo. So there is a bit of coaching in terms of they want you to go a certain way, but they don't tell me that. So I'm just going with what feels right in the moment. And I love Adam Levine. And actually, after the show, he's the one person I continued to have a relationship with after the show, because I feel like he really cared about me. And I didn't do anything wrong. It's not like I did him dirty, because I wasn't aware of what they were trying to plan. Yeah. But he's someone that's very, very caring and very caring about his contestants. And so he like always cared about me the whole season, even though I wasn't on his team. And afterwards. But yeah, so I think there's a bit of planned, I don't even want to call it trickery, but there is planned producer planned things that I started to pick up on throughout the season as I kept going week by week, going, oh, I made it. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And you kind of just like start to notice things here and there. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
So how much time did you have between each round? Like when they give you the song that you're going to sing on the next round, how fast
You're
is
not
that
ready.
turnaround?
You're not ready for this. Are you ready? One of the weeks. So normally it's okay. So you tend to make it on a Tuesday night. And because we're East Coast filming, even though we're filming here in Los Angeles, you're done by 5 o'clock. After that, you take off hair and wardrobe, and you finally go back to the hotel. You are given your song that day on Tuesday, and you are filming your rehearsal with your coach Wednesday morning. Yeah, it's not even a full 24 hours. But what's crazier is one of the weeks, Alicia was flying back and forth between here and New York during the season. So like every week on a Wednesday, she would fly back home and return on Sunday. And so one of the weeks there was a scheduling conflict, and this was when we were in the live shows. So, you know, it's like happening in real time. She couldn't do our rehearsals on our typical Wednesday. So we rehearsed. We stop airing at 5. I get my song, and we're filming our rehearsals at 8 p.m. that same
my God.
night.
Yeah.
If you do the math, that's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So you're given barely any time, and we don't pick the songs. We're given our songs.
Exactly.
So basically, you're sent your song, and you know, you're kind of wondering, oh my gosh, is this okay? Now we have to like crank, and we have to learn our song. We have to figure out what. I think that's one thing that maybe I could have done better looking back on it. Is all I needed to know was the basics of the song for the filming rehearsal. And then I could take the time from Wednesday until Monday to figure out what I'm going to do to make it my own. I think I tried to do a lot during, you know, that short amount of time and try to figure out, this is the version that I'm going to do, and I'm going to stick with it because I want continuity between rehearsals and then when you actually perform it. Yeah. So I think that's one thing. But yeah, the turnaround is so fast. Not to mention you need to know exactly what you're going to do vocally by Friday, because you're rehearsing it on Wednesday. Friday, you're going into the recording studio, which they don't do this anymore now, but we were recording all of our stuff for iTunes. So when the show airs on Monday, our versions of our songs that we are singing loud are are out on Monday. So we have to know exactly what we're going to do, vocally, song choice, what riffs, what runs by Friday, because you're going into the studio to record it. Yeah, it's a lot.
And they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore. Yeah. Right after my season is when they stopped doing the iTunes like releasing of the recordings, which I actually find crazy because still to this day, that's my top, like one of my top listened to things on all streaming services is all of my voice performances. And they're good. They're very, very good.
Yeah.
Like I look back and I'm actually starting a series on TikTok right now where I'm showing things that I did on The Voice that I'm deeply embarrassed of, because what you think you hear is good in your ears is not so good in the studio. And there's notes that I'm just like, why did we do it so pitchy? Like, what were we doing? So I'm like doing a series right now on TikTok where I sing what I wish I would have sung. But having those recordings out that are so perfect and, you know, wonderfully done. The studio engineers were amazing. I'm glad I have those to hold on to.
Yeah.
Because the YouTube videos, I'm like, I love what I did. Obviously, I made it much farther than I could have ever anticipated or had known, but you know, there's some things we did there that were questionable choices.
But hey, you live and you learn and you grow, you know?
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, we as singers are always going to be our worst critic, right?
Yes.
Like if you really want to learn how to sing, record yourself and listen to it back.
And everybody hates doing it, but
everyone
that's how you
hates
learn.
doing it. That is how you do it. And that being on that show really made us look at our performances, see what we were doing right, seeing what we were doing wrong. But then also you have to forgive yourself, right? Because you're in a live studio audience. Your adrenaline is pumping so much and you're just having the time of your life on that stage. Like, I don't think I was ever nervous for any performance after the blind audition because all I could think about is look where I am. And I didn't sit there and stress. I didn't think about, I have to perfect this because I want to get on to next week and because next week's going to be this theme. I was just like, here's my song. I'm going to make it the best I can. Yeah. If I get through, amazing.
Yeah.
If I don't, that's okay. Like, look at where I got. And I think that mentality, and I tell anybody this who's reaches out to me that wants to be on one of the shows or, you know, wants my input, I say, don't go into it so calculated and so like, I have to do good, I have to do this, because sometimes that energy can sabotage you in ways you don't even know your voice can do. It'll create stress, it'll create anxiety. You don't want that going into these situations. What you want is pure fun and enjoyment, because singing is fun. Being on a stage is a blast. If you can channel into that, I'm telling you, that energy translates so well. And more importantly, America sees that energy and they want that energy. And so I think that that's one of the reasons why, or I attribute that mentality to why I did so well on the show.
And the fact that you're a fantastic singer too.
Thank you.
You know, that helps too.
I appreciate that.
So, you know, you were on this show. It was like gangbusters, like go for weeks, right? How long was your journey with them? Do you remember how many weeks it was?
9 months total. Yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Block your ears.
Wow.
It literally, from the time that I was out there for the blind audition to the time that the show wrapped, and because I was semifinals week was when I got off, so 1 week from finale week, but because I was a semi-finalist, you're always brought back to do the finale, so I didn't go anywhere. I performed in the finale and got to be there and root on, you know, my fellow contestants, but also perform. So I was there literally from the beginning until the finale. I never left. There was a couple of months in which we had downtime, which was right around this time, like January, February, we had downtime, but we were back up filming from March until I think our season ended in May. So yeah, it was, the whole process was over 9 months.
So did you just live in a hotel during that time?
Yep. Live in a hotel, try to eat, what they offer at the hotel or Uber Eats something. And then I just spent my entire time at the gym and trying to hang out with friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. And so you were in your senior year at Berklee at that point too. So how did you navigate that?
Okay. So I tried to do both in the beginning. I was, when we were filming for blind auditions and then the knockouts, which weren't live TV.
Yeah.
I think there were like two, I can't remember what they're called anymore, but there were like 2 rounds beyond the blind auditions that were not live. All of that, I was still doing my full schooling. So everything was online. Berklee was very, very supportive of this. So I just basically would figure out what the reading is. The teacher would tell me what, was on the docket for that week. I would submit all my classwork. And I did really, really, I tried to do it. But near the end, once we were really up and filming and we were past the blind auditions, like our schedules were so crazy busy that it just wasn't making sense anymore. So I decided to put Berklee on hold for once we got to the live auditions. And that made me sad too, because there was a point, if you watched the show at all, when I was on it, semifinals week was my college graduation. And I missed it. And I was devastated because, I'm like, here I am, my entire class, all of my friends that I spent the last 4 years with at Berklee are walking and getting their diplomas. And even though I'm on such an crazy, incredible high being on the show, I'm missing that. Like, that's my reality. Being on The Voice, there's almost a sense of that's not your reality. Like, back home is your reality. So I was feeling like kind of homesick. So that was really sad for me to have to miss my college graduation. But luckily the school let me walk a year later with the class of 2019, because I graduated technically in 2018, but I was on the show, so I didn't get to do it. But yeah, the college
2019, we walked the same year.
Yeah. Hello, can we talk about Justin Timberlake, Missy Elliott?
Yes, you were also in that year.
Yes.
Oh, so we walked the same year.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
We missed each other.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Come on.
But you know what? I kind of look at it as a blessing in disguise, and this is such a side tangent. But that year, like, I had auditioned to be in the senior performance.
Yeah.
And they picked me to sing Defying Gravity. So I was like, had I not walked this year, I would have never gotten to do that song, which was like such a, oh my gosh, we could talk about that. That was like such a pivotal moment to be on that stage and like sing Defying Gravity.
Yeah.
Because the year before, they didn't have any artists like that. Like, our year of graduation was
so good.
So phenomenal.
So good. See, I finished school online. So I was in person for 3 semesters in 1 year.
Yep.
And then I got signed to a manager in Nashville. I moved to Nashville and I finished school online.
Wow.
And so I never even like auditioned for the graduation performance or anything like that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I walked. Okay. I got the picture.
Yeah,
and
you
I
did.
Shook the hands.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
College graduation is a strange thing, man.
It sure is. It sure is. What a blast from the past.
I know.
Wow.
So yeah, 2019. So they let me walk that year instead.
Okay.
Which was very kind of them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I would love to switch gears a little bit and do a little bit of singing, because we want to hear those pipes, baby.
Okay, we'll try our best.
And then I'd love to talk a little bit more about your time after.
Yeah.
You know, what happened after the show's over, because then that fantasy is over, and then what now?
And that's a thing that isn't talked about enough. So definitely let's do that.
We'll get into that. Let's just do a real quick little call and response warm up. And then we'll get a little treat.
Okay.
Get to hear you sing. Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Nice. See, this is where I feel comfortable.
Come on, alto.
I'm the low voice. You're the belter. Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
kind of very similar. I love it. I'm going to get comfortable here.
Yes, please do. So what's our little treat? What do we get to hear you sing?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. What do you want to hear?
Anything your heart desires. Anything you love to sing.
Anything I love.
I can pull up a karaoke track for you too if you'd like. We can do it a cappella.
Wow, I know. Hold on. Pause. We're looking at the cell phone. I'm trying to think about like what's been on my mind recently, because you have to like listen to
She's on my mind, on my mind.
That's a great song.
I can't sleep at night.
You know what I can do? How Deep Is Your Love?
Ooh.
There's a video recently that I'm part of a wedding band, and they uploaded it, and it got 1 million views.
Whoa! Congratulations.
So maybe I'll just sing that.
Do you want me to pull up a track for you? Do you want to do it a cappella?
I can do. Wait, I definitely have one. Can I just play the track?
Mm-hmm.
Sick. So this is How Deep Is Your Love, recreated by PJ Morton and Yeba. We all love a Yeba. So let me get to the, hold on. Good old karaoke track. Let me just get to the part that I'll sing. Mm-hmm. You better cut this part out because it's so long. I also just love this song. It's so good. It's a classic. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hours, yeah. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think that I care for you when you know deep down inside I really do, and it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
Wow.
Just a great song.
And a great voice.
It's a great song. I know I wasn't even belting for you, but it's just a good, like, feel good.
Yeah, but
type
like
of
your
song.
mix is unreal.
Oh,
like you have so much
thank you.
control over that range in your voice.
Yeah, musical theater will teach you that.
So do you have a musical theater background?
Oh, I have an everything background.
An
What do you
everything
wanna know?
background.
I literally started singing. My elementary school teacher called my parents because, in elementary school, you're just constantly like, getting kids together and singing.
Yeah.
And the music teacher at my school calls them and goes, she can hold a tune. And anytime we're playing, she's the only student that is singing these songs and staying in key and like consistently staying in key. You need to do something about this. That's what the teacher told my parents.
Wow.
So I was immediately put into singing lessons at the age of 8.
Wow.
And just did singing lessons. And so from there, I sang at church. So you have like that church gospel background. Then I fell in love with musical theater. And that's like really where my belting and like my mix kind of developed, was doing musical theater and finding, hello, we were all obsessed with Wicked.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the movie's out, because I cannot, if it wasn't this, I was about to sing Wicked, but
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
warmed. We're not warmed up, so don't get too excited. But I was thinking about it, and just like falling in love with the lack of limits that there are in musical theater. Then I really wanted to learn pop, so I wanted to like make sure that I could differentiate, because sometimes musical theater singers, and this isn't any shade, but it's really hard when you learn musical theater and then try to sing other genres.
It's very different.
It's very different, and I wanted to be a versatile singer. So then I learned pop, and then I literally got a jazz vocal coach teacher. Like my parents were like, what do you want to learn? You want to learn jazz? We'll get you a jazz teacher. Like they were so supportive. So I got to learn every different style of music, which is why I feel grateful for the experience and the support that I had, because I can kind of apply it to whatever style of music that I want.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself a runner and riffer. Like, I wasn't necessarily sharp on any of the things that I sang, but like just learning how to tap into different vocal styles is so important.
Yeah.
I think for me.
No, I agree. Because that's where you're going to then be able to find your home. Because if you never explore, then it's like, well, how do you know what your home
Correct.
is? Right?
And it's also like listening to the tone of your voice. Where does your tone naturally sit? So for me, I would say I'm like in between a soprano and an alto. Like I have depth to my voice, but I'm not like an airy vocalist. So I'm a very clean and crispy like vocalist. So there's not a lot of rasp to my voice. So it's also finding out, here's my voice, where can that also fit genre wise? I think is also important to look at.
Yeah, of course. And then also what you enjoy. Because at the end of the day, you probably don't want to sing a genre that you don't really enjoy.
No,
right?
no.
So.
Or unless you're like me and you've done every genre and you're like, I
like
don't know what to pick.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's usually a real thing.
Yeah, when I ask, like, you know, singers when they do a first session with us, I'm like, so what do you like? They're like, I like everything.
I know. It's hard. It's like, don't get into that analysis paralysis, as we like to call it. Like, just like find what feels like home, which I think honestly, which was nice, even though they were telling me like I'm the Boston rocker on The Voice. I love rock music because it's like these big, powerful songs.
Yeah.
And that's what showcases my art, is like big, powerful singing. So I didn't mind being in that wheelhouse. And my dad like is obsessed with classic rock. So growing up in our household, we were constantly playing rock. So it wasn't too far off, you know, the path for me.
Where do you feel most at home now?
Don't ask me.
No, sorry.
No, where do I feel most at home now? You know, life has taken a shift in terms of thinking what you want to do, and then having the chips fall where they may. I have really been enjoying using my versatility to my advantages. So I haven't released music in years, which is, I'm not proud of that, but I've really been focusing on singing backgrounds for artists and doing that, and really I can be put anywhere and deliver. Also demo singing, singing. If you don't know, here, especially here in Los Angeles, people are working on music constantly, whether it's for an artist or whether it's for pitch for a television show or a movie, whatever it is. They always need somebody to record their song, so when they send it to said person, they can listen to it and enjoy what they're listening to. And that's I think where being a versatile singer can really shine, because I can be called in to do anything. So when you ask where home is, home for me right now is where I'm needed and where my voice fits the project.
I love that.
If that makes any sense.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's where home is for me right now.
And that is one of the most difficult things to do, but you have that huge toolbox to pull from, and all these different experiences throughout your life, these different people that you've worked with, allows you to do that. And I love that. One of our coaches on our team, Coach Bree, we call her our versatility expert, because she's kind of like you. She's done it all. She even has a classical background too.
Oh, amazing.
She initially went to college for contemporary voice, and then she won the classical competition.
Crazy.
And then was like, oh, I kind of love this. And then she switched her major to do classical. So she does a lot of background work too. And all
it's
that.
just, you kind of just really have to, if you're going to live here in Los Angeles, and that's a thing. When I left the show, I was on such a high that I was like, I'm going to become famous. I'm going to get a record deal. People are going to be knocking at my door. Like, this is my shining moment. And I'm not going to lie, like, I loved the attention. I loved the pedestal they put you on. Of course. I truly felt like an artist. And as time went by and, you move farther and farther and farther away from the time you're on the show, I just think that there were certain things that weren't filling my cup up enough to validate why I was doing so. I felt like I was doing something out of a chore, not out of a want. And that didn't feel genuine to me. And I'm somebody who who has struggled mentally before with music. Like, I was bullied really, really bad in high school for singing and developed horrific depression and very sad thoughts that you would, never wish your child to think of, but that's where I went. And so I have a very healthy understanding of knowing where I'm at and seeing the red flags when we're starting to approach them. And I developed really bad depression after being on the show because, you're on this pedestal and you're on this high, and all of a sudden the floor gets dropped from underneath of you.
Yeah.
And I think there's this narrative that you, especially on The Voice, and I don't knock The Voice for doing this, but so much of the show is branded on, this is your coach, this is your cheerleader, they're cheering you on, they're going to be a coach for the rest of your life. That's not true.
Yeah.
It might be for some contestants. Maybe they developed a fantastic experience. But the moment, literally the end of finale, I never heard from my coach ever again. Even though I reached out. Even though I tried to have contact.
Yeah.
Never once heard from them again. And that was never heard from anyone from the show ever again. Never tried to check in on how we were doing. I mean, so many fellow contestants. And by the way, this is across all boards for every singing show because I have proof because of Brandon.
Yeah.
I think they could step up and take care of their contestants' mental stability after the show. Because so many of us come off these shows and don't know what to do with our lives, have an expectation, tell you that, they even on the show are like, don't be surprised if producers come calling you. Don't be surprised if people are like ready to sign deals with you. Like, they almost give you this sense of your life's about to change.
Yeah.
And then you just go back to the mundane life. And sure, people might recognize you on the street. That happened. I got stopped all the time and people wanted a picture or like to chat with me, but you just don't feel like yourself and you're just thrown back into it without a lot of preparation and care. And I think that's one thing that these shows could do a lot better for their contestants.
Like you said, it's like, with the Berklee graduation that you missed, it was almost like, well, but hold on, real life is over there.
Correct.
And this is not real life.
Yeah.
And then you're just getting pushed right back into your real
literally
life.
Thrown right back into like classes and just normal life. And while I developed, depression, I mean, I would sit in my bed until like 3:30 in the afternoon, unable to move, like completely. And then you have this noise in your head of like, don't miss out on your opportunity. Like, everyone's following you. Like, why aren't you recording videos? Why aren't you doing this? And so then you start to record said videos, and all of a sudden the engagement is not as important because guess what? In a month, they're starting their next season of the show. Like, you're washed up at that point.
Yeah.
And it's a very true, sad reality that I think doesn't get talked about enough. Even Brandon, who's one of, I'm not even trying to be biased. He's one of the best male vocalists I've ever heard in my entire life. He's so gifted, and him on stage is a truly magical thing. He went on American Idol and got off of American Idol and developed the worst stage anxiety I've ever seen in a person. Like, he couldn't even step on a stage for about 2.5 years. It ruined him that much.
No.
It was every time he was about to perform, it turned into a major panic attack because all he could think of was, I embarrassed myself on American Idol. I only got to top 24. Like, there was a lot of self-hatred in terms of like loud noise that, oh, well, I finally get in front of America and America doesn't want me. So now I'm not a good performer. So now I'm not a good singer. And it's like, there's so much that goes on. We as singers are already such emotional human beings because we're in a creative space, a creative art, that it can just become really detrimental if you're put in the wrong situation or if you're not well equipped for what could be your reality coming off of these shows.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we have each other, and thank goodness we have a community. I mean, I still talk to so many people from my show, like
You
from my
do?
season.
That's
Yeah, because Bryn
awesome.
Cartelli won, and she, you know, stayed a good long friend of mine. Alexa Capelli, who's doing amazing now in the music industry. She was my best friend on the show,
Yeah.
and we still keep in contact. Like there's, you know, people. Even my friend Jordan just moved here from Tennessee, and we were like, he was my first friend that I met on the show, and we're making plans this week to get together. So like, you really do
awesome.
develop long lasting friendships, and you have each other to lean on, which I think is important. But I think my takeaway of doing the show and what happened afterwards is, one, don't be so hard on yourself, because the noise can be so loud. And sure, yeah, I think you could be right and say, well, I could have done more, or I could have released more music, or I could have done more YouTube videos. I didn't, because I was trying to focus on my mental health. And I look back on it and going, but would I have done that only because I thought the timing was right? Or was I really doing it true to myself? Did I really want to put out these videos? Or was I just doing it because you have all the followers now, so you better do it and not lose your opportunity? So I think it's important to just like trust in yourself and understand that it's your reality in the moment, but it's not your reality in daily life. So to stay grounded is really, really important when doing these shows.
So what would you recommend to somebody who's like thinking about, auditioning for one of these shows? Like, what expectations should they have? Because you mentioned, like, don't go into it like I have to sound good and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like go open and have fun.
Yes.
But like, what expectations should they have?
I would say take it day by day. I would say if you're going to audition for these shows, believe in yourself wholeheartedly, because if you don't believe in yourself, people can see through the cracks. So really just go in and believe in your craft, believe in why you're there, believe in your talent. That will take you far. Truly, that will take you far, because you have to trust your gut. You have to trust the choices you make. And I think the expectation going into it is you are not the puppet master, someone else is. That's why it's important to just go in and trust your instincts and trust your gut and do what you are there to do and have fun while doing it, because producers love someone who is just like in the moment and present. And they might not even be the best vocalist, but if they're like so happy to be there and so thrilled, like that's going to take you far as you're meant to be or meant to go in the process. And then also remember that it's just a television show. And the likelihood of it really changing your life is the same likelihood of you becoming a famous singer, right? The chances are slim. And that is something that we have to really understand, is that not everyone is going to become famous. Even if you're the most talented singer, you're not going to become famous. If you do, you're amazing. Tell me what you did to do it. But I think it's understanding that like you are one of many, and so be loud, be proud of that, but also understand that like there is life back at home, and that don't put so much weight onto this so that you lose yourself when you're back at home. Like really stay grounded. There's a quote that I love that my parents got a painting done for me. That's Casey Kasem, and it says, keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars. Stay grounded. Know where the floor is at, but never stop reaching for what you want. And I think that's like a really important thing to just like take throughout your daily life.
I love that. That's a great quote. Would you even recommend that people audition for these shows?
1000% you should. Because if you are the one where your life gets changed from this, then like, what would you have done if you had you not auditioned? I tell everybody who comes to me that's like, I'm thinking about auditioning, do it. Because also you're going to grow so much as a like, I grew as a vocalist on the show. I think I was a great singer before entering on the show. I felt like I was an even better singer coming off the show. Like, I sang notes. I didn't even know I was capable of singing.
Yeah.
Ever. And had I not been on the show, I don't think I would have ever tested my voice like that. So I say, do it, go for it. Understand that if it's not the right place or the right time, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And if you want to audition again. And if you want to do a different show, audition for that show. Like, I just think why wouldn't you do it?
You got nothing to lose,
you have
right?
Quite literally nothing to lose. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's so much that goes into these shows, and it's so great to hear from somebody who's gone through it and, has experienced it.
And loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. That's so great. I love that for you because, there's so many rumors that we hear and speculations and all that, but you just don't know what really goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And also for you, you're like, well, I'm also speculating here. I don't know. They don't tell me everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So.
You pick up on cues, but that's the thing is, like, when people ask me if I genuinely, Laura, I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I was like, is this really my life? This is insane. This is crazy. And I was just like, I was a happy mess the whole time. Yeah. I loved every single second. And truly, for me, the show did change my life. And I'm so thankful that I was on that show. I'm so thankful for the community that I met and for how it gave me a following on social media that now is still engaged with me 5-6 years later, however long it's been, probably 7 years later. You know what I mean? But like, it's just, I just think if you just are genuine in who you are, these shows will do great for you. They really, really will. And I loved it.
Well, talking about, people still following you, where can we all find your stuff if people don't know yet?
All right. So you can follow me. Pretty much all of my social media is It's Jackie Foster. Yes, actually, there's like the ITS. It's Jackie Foster. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Who uses Facebook, guys? Sorry. And on TikTok, my Instagram is Jackie Foster Music. And then me and my husband have been starting to post like doing harmonies to different songs.
We're just saw one of those videos and I was like, oh, this is just music to my ears. We don't even need the melody here.
Because that's what I'm saying. It was like, we always try to sing the melody. And I'm thinking to myself, I told Brandon, I said, I don't ever hear people just do the harmonies over like the actual artist singing the melody as they should. So we're starting a new series. If you want to follow us on that, specifically TikTok is where we're doing that, and I'll post on my social media. But our TikTok is...
Well, you're starting a whole new page for it.
Yeah. Well, we've had our page before. It's Jackie and Brandon is our TikTok if you want to follow us on that, because we'll be posting harmony stuff. We'll do a collaborative post on Instagram since we don't have our a duo page or whatever. But exciting things Brandon and I have talked about for a long time is we really want to release music together as a duo.
Wow.
Because we've been together for 9 years.
You know, when you finally got married, I was like, finally.
But also you have to put into perspective, we met each other at the age of 18 and 19 years old. Yeah. We started dating.
Babies.
Why am I going to get married at that age? When I'm just like, I mean, don't get me wrong. People get married at that age. But for us, we were like, we're children. Yeah. We need to live our lives.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah, that's why it took us a long time. And
it felt right. Like, no shade, but I was like, yeah.
I know. A lot of people were like, finally. Yeah. Like, got married after 8 years of dating. Wow. But so we've talked about wanting to release music together. And we are in the process of writing music and recording right now. So
I can't wait to hear that.
We don't know what we're going to be called. We have to come up with a group name, but we're figuring it out, and we're just excited. Like, that's the first time I've been really excited about recording music for ourselves. Yeah. And having him along the ride. And, like, we just oh my gosh, we're so in sync that I feel like it's going to be fantastic. So.
Oh, I have no doubts. I can't wait.
Yes.
I mean, just hearing that harmonizing video that you posted, I was like, oh my God, this is heaven. This is so beautiful.
Oh,
I can't wait to hear it.
So if you want to follow us on the socials, Brandon and I will be doing those harmony videos. And then I'm going to be redoing the things on The Voice that I wish I would have done better.
Yes.
I just started that series on my TikTok.
Perfect.
So if you want to follow me on TikTok, which Jackie Foster Music, you can do that.
We'll follow along there too. Yeah. I have one little last question for you. It's a question I ask all of our guests, and it's, it's our podcast or our show is called From Singer to Artist.
Okay.
And so the question for you is, what to you is the difference between a singer and an artist? Is there even a difference for you?
Wow, that's a fantastic question. I think originally, had you asked me a couple years ago, I would say 1000% there's a difference. I would say an artist takes on their own identity. It's a whole workhorse. It's a team of people. I think that's what like an artist really is it's an artist becomes a team of common visionaries for the same purpose. But now, if you ask me right now in this moment, I think they are the same girl, for me at least. Singer versus artist, she's the same girl. She's a more confident, elevated version of herself. And I think sometimes we can look at it and be like, oh, I'm just a singer. But it's important to say, no, I'm an artist. I create music. I write music. I collaborate with others. And more importantly, I put myself out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important in the evolution of becoming an artist. But I genuinely think they are the same person because I just feel like it's so important to like stay concrete in your identity, and that will just take you far. I keep reiterating the same thing, but like to me, I am a singer and I'm an artist, and I can wear that hat any day I want and be the same person at the same time and share both of those identities. So
I love that.
That's my take on it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that and for sharing your journey on The Voice with us during and after as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for being just so real and vulnerable and honest with us. And
thank you.
It's it's again, we see what we see on TV and we don't really know what's real, and just having someone to talk to about like all the experience and everything is super valuable. So thank you.
And thank you for giving me the space to do that, because I've never had the opportunity to really share the true in-depth aspects of being on a show like this, and the fantastic things and the not so great things. Like you're the first person to ever allow me to talk about this. So I'm happy you gave me the space to share it.
That is crazy to me, because I'm like, like everybody wants to know.
I know. You want to know the truth.
Yes. Like
you want to know the truth. And I don't think I'll get in trouble for it, because it's been like 7 years. It's just, that's what happens. And it's so important to know.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
Really is. So,
yeah. Thank you so much. No, thank you. Thanks for taking the time. It was so fun. Finally. Not be ships in the night passing each other.
Passing in the night.
But rather
we're here.
Collided head on. No, just kidding.
Seriously, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thanks for everybody tuning in. If you have any questions for Jackie, I'm sure
ask.
There you go.
Reach
DMs.
out.
There you go. Wonderful. Slide into her DMs, but in a respectful way.
Yeah. Come on. Don't be weird.
Yeah, don't be weird. But thank you, Jackie. And thanks everybody for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.